Hi everyone, it's Jessica. I hope your new year is off to a great start. Today I'm going to make a card with the Close to My Heart stamp of the month for January 2022. It's called Sweet Little Things, and I just think that it is so precious. So let's start by taking a 4-inch piece of white daisy cardstock. And then I pulled a couple of old mix-in papers from Close to My Heart. So the Sapphire one is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I have two 1/2-inch strips that are cut to 4 inches long. One of them is a zip strip and the other one is just a 1/2-inch strip of pattern paper, another old mix-in paper from their collections. And then I will edge distress this one with my Sapphire ink, and then I'm going to do the same thing only with Lagoon ink to those little 1/2-inch strips. Now, actually, I needed to only do one of the long edges on each of those because I will be covering the other edge with my ribbon when I tie it onto the card front. So I'll just get all of that prepped, and then I'm going to move on to the rest of my stamping. So I have this cute little image here of the big bunny and the little bunny holding hands, but I wanted the scene to extend all the way across that 4-inch square. So there is this little like flower cluster that is on the stamp set, and I'm going to grab my intense black ink since I will be coloring this later with my tri-blend markers. And I'm going to stamp that little flower cluster to the right and to the left of the original stamped image. Now, it wasn't too hard to line it up and make sure that, the grass was coming across straight across my card. But really, I found that it was pretty forgiving because I will be coloring it later and adding some green beneath it. And then also I'm going to be, adding those two 1/2-inch strips to the bottom of this 4-inch square. So, if you are stamping this, don't stress out too much about trying to make it in a perfect line or overlapping anything. It's just enough to extend that image all the way from side to side. There, isn't that so cute? All right, and so now I'm going to turn to the coloring, and I'm using my tri-blend markers. This is the brown gray blend, and I'm going to come in with the dark side first. Now, I found in these particular images, because of the way that they are designed, it was really easy to know how to do the shading with the tri-blend markers because I was able to follow basically their fur. So wherever you see the little lines that kind of show the fur, like here, then that's the part where I went over the darkest part of my marker. And so here you can see that's all of the darkest shade. And then I'm going to come in with the middle shade. And most of my rabbit is actually going to be that middle shade of the brown gray marker. And I'm going to save just a tiny little bit of him on his face and then like a couple of parts on his feet for the lightest shade. So I'm going back over the dark part that I did first and then coming out into the white space there and filling it in a little bit. And I'll color most of this off camera so you don't have to watch it, but I did want to kind of show you how easy it is to do that blending. And there you can see that's just the part that I'm going to then fill in with the lightest shade. Now, I've seen different tutorials with coloring with the tri-blend markers, and some people do say that, to do the blending, that first you color the entire image with the lightest shade of your marker, and then you go over and do the darkest in the middle, second and third. But I find that especially on an image like this where it's kind of bigger and more space to color in, that it saves that lightest end of your marker a little bit to only do it at the end, if that makes sense, rather than coloring it in twice. And then sometimes I find that, right when you finish, it kind of looks a little bit like, oh, I can still see my marks. But as the ink dries, it definitely does blend beautifully. Okay, then I use the earth brown tri-blend marker to color in the baby bunny. And then now I'm going to use the pale pink blend marker, and with the darkest end, I'm just hitting the baby bunny's nose and then giving my adult bunny some rosy cheeks. And so I think that's just a really sweet little touch. I'll go ahead and finish coloring this off camera with the orange and the yellow, but then you can see down here, I took that light green marker and I just kind of created a little bit of a green strip of grass for them to be standing on. And then now I'm going to add these two 1/2-inch strips of paper, and I'll start by putting this one down here first. I wanted that darkest Lagoon one there. And then this one, it's going to overlap that little green area that I had created, but I want to make sure that I can still see the green. So you can see here, I was like, oops, I need to come down just a little bit more over here on the side. So make sure that you can still see the green, but then you're going to end up covering the rest of that white space on that 4-inch square. And so I thought that was a really easy way just to create a scene. And like I said, not worry too much about, if your flowers are on straight or anything like that. And it just looks like they're walking through a field of flowers, like they're on a path in between them. All right, I've adhered all of that to the front of our Sapphire piece of pattern paper. And now I'm going to stamp a sentiment onto the top 1/2-inch strip there. And so you could fit, there's one that says, "You make me smile," and then there's another one that says, "Oh, happy day." I decided to go with "Oh, happy day" because I thought, well, then I could use this card as either like a congratulations card for a new baby, or even for like a little kid's birthday. It would work for that. And so it just felt kind of versatile to me, and I picked that one. Now on my original card, I had gone into an older stamp set and found a tiny stamp that said congratulations, and I had stamped that there as well. So definitely lots of sentiments that you could fit right in that spot there to make the card work for whatever you need it to be. All right, now I'm taking this white and gold ribbon, which I do believe is retired, but just a little strip of ribbon, and I'm going to tape it here in the back, and I kind of overlapped the joint where those two strips of papers met, and then it's down just a little bit, so it's not quite in the center. I had to have room for my sentiment. And then I tied it into a bow, and then using my glue dots, I will put just 2 glue dots here over to the side on top of my ribbon, and that will hold that bow in place, and this card is done. It really did come together very quickly. And those animals on there, there's a little bear who's holding up a flower with a bee buzzing toward it. And then there's another rabbit one. And then there's a cute little mouse who's holding a flower. Just so many sweet little pictures and lots of fun sentiments. So I really love this one. So remember that the Stamp of the Month is available only during January 2022, and I will post a link to my website down below if you are interested in this one. I hope you guys have enjoyed watching, and like I said, that you have a great new year, off to a great start. Happy crafting. See you later. Bye.